I want to invite you to the Homeschool Mama Book Club. This book club is a virtual book club intended to help you as a homeschool mom show up on purpose in your homeschool and in your life. And you can see online that I talk about how our favorite influencers can influence our homeschools. Because ultimately, the biggest influencer is us. How we think about our life, our children, our homeschool, what an education is, all of it influences how we engage as homeschoolers. Because the greatest influencer is you. We're going to choose in our monthly book club selections books that have an impact on both us and our homeschools, our homeschool lives, really. And this month, we are going to discuss a very well-known book called Hold On to Your Kids by Gordon Neufeld. Power-packed book. Not too often I pull out a parenting book for the intention of discussing things because I think I've been around long enough to kind of resist the idea of owning a parenting approach because I know that they don't all work perfectly. And I have always got one more child that kind of bucks the latest trend that people are parenting with, or the book that everybody thinks is the best one. So I kind of resist it. How about you? I hilariously enough, even my kids have said, you write parenting books. And I'm like, no, I do not write parenting books because I don't know what I'm supposed to do with y'all. And it seems like it's a day-to-day thing that I'm trying to figure stuff out. But there is a couple things I genuinely want to ascribe to. And it is, we have to be connected to our kids and there have to be boundaries. Loosely, that's my parenting goal. But if I were to recommend a parenting book, it would be Hold On to Your Kids by Gordon Neufeld. So in our next book club, we're going to talk about this book. But I'm kind of hoping that when you come, if there is a book that you love, whether it's a parenting book, a homeschooling book, or just some enjoyable pastime book, that bring it to the book club, introduce it to the rest of us. Because in the last post that I asked on Instagram about the books that you're reading, I found some of the books that you're reading really fascinating. And we can't all read all the books, so we could just share our favorite book that we're reading and share a little bit about why we should all be reading that book. So this next book club is going to take place on Thursday, May 19th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you have time to read this book, fabulous. You can find that book on my book list at capturingthecharmlife.com. And if you can't, that's okay too, because I know you're busy. I'm busy, but I'm less busy because I have older kids right now, so more time to read. I'm going to share with you 3 quotes from Gordon Neufeld's book so that you get a flavor of what he's really about. He says, our children want to belong to us, even if it feels like that doesn't look like what's going on. And even if their words or actions seem to signal the opposite, our children want to belong to us. He also says, the greater the force we impose, the more counterwill we will garner in a reaction against us. Have you heard of counterwill? This is the first time that I really dug deep into the concept of counterwill, was in a series by Gordon Neufeld and the Neufeld Institute. It helped me a lot in adolescence. No, not fully, because I still actually have to deal with it day to day with my kids, and I have to figure out how to not trigger counterwill and still create boundaries in our home. He says the key to activating maturation is to take care of the attachment needs of the child. To foster independence, we must first invite dependence. To promote individuation, we must provide a sense of belonging and unity. And the last quote I'm going to share with you is a challenging one for all of us. And so when I share it with you, it is not my intention to make you think you're not meeting this, because none of us are meeting this. But I do think we need to have a goal. We need to have a vision for how we're approaching our kids. And I think this is a beautiful one. Unconditional parental love is the indispensable nutrient for the child's healthy emotional growth. The first task is to create space in the child's heart for the certainty that she is precisely the person the parents want and love. She does not have to do anything or be any different to earn that love. In fact, she cannot do anything, since that love cannot be won or lost. The child can be ornery, unpleasant, whiny, uncooperative, or just plain rude, and the parent still lets her feel loved. Ways have to be found to convey the unacceptability of certain behaviors without making the child herself feel unaccepted. She has to be able to bring her unrest, her least likable characteristics to the parent, and still receive the parent's absolutely satisfying, security-inducing, unconditional love. Whoa. So to me, that is ultimately my goal in parenting on a day-to-day basis. I know how challenging that really is to enact. This book, Power Pack book, you are invited to join me in the Homeschool Mama Book Club. You can find the link in my bio, and you are most welcome to chat with other homeschool mamas that are looking to be authentic and vulnerable and wanting to show up on purpose in their homeschool and their lives. DM for details if you want to know anything more.